Let's talk a little bit about keywords in this video. Now you've got a website up and running and you want to understand what keywords to target so that you would rank higher on search engines and you would be able to get a lot of traffic. So everything you need to know about what keywords to target is literally in this one single graph. So this is the search demand graph and a search demand curve, and what I'll do is I'll walk you through how this whole graph works. So on the left axis, we have search volume, which is how many times a specific keyword is being searched on a monthly basis. So let's say, low indicates 0. Obviously, we start from 0. And high means it could be in hundreds of thousands or probably even millions. So let's take a keyword for an example, shoes here. The word shoes, let's say, hypothetically speaking, if it's searched 4 million times on a monthly basis, so that's your high scale. And then you have other similar words like boots or whatever the other singular phrases or singular words that may have really high volume. And as you go, on the x-axis, you've got the number of keywords, which means as you go further down the axis, you have lower volume words. So, this yellow one here could just be maybe 15,000 searches a month. The blue one may only be 4,000 searches a month, and the green would probably indicate anywhere around 100 to 1,000 searches a month. And as you continue going down, the longer the keywords get, it could just be 20 searches or 50 searches or 60 searches a month. Now, so that's literally it. So the more generic the word, the higher the search volume, and the more specific the word, the lower the search volume. So the more specific the word, so when you have, when you go running shoes for men with flat feet, that's very, very specific. It will have much lower search volume, as you can see, because it's on the low graph there, and we call them long tail keywords. And the secret of any SEO project success lies in optimizing for long tail keywords at the early start of the project. The reason for this, assume people looking for shoes. So it could be a person wanting to buy new shoes, or it could literally be someone looking up specifications of a shoes, or it could be a manufacturer looking up shoes online, or it could actually be a professor in a university looking for research or doing research on shoes. If you continue forward, down the graph you have running shoes, which is a bit more specific than shoes, because now you know that they are looking specifically for running shoes. So this user query is a bit more specific, and that sort of neglects certain type of audiences. And if you continue down the graph again, here you've got running shoes for men with flat feet, which again excludes everyone that doesn't have a flat feet, or people without that don't have flat feet are not going to look for this specific term. And if you continue even going further, you might even have a search term like buy running shoes for men with flat feet. So that's much more intent driven keyword, because now you know that somebody's looking to buy running shoes for men with flat feet. So that's how you plan for it. So what you do is you always specifically start with long tail keywords, and as you continue to gain some authority in Google, you then start targeting 2 to 3 keyword combinations, and then eventually try and go for single word keyword combinations. We never reach a point, even after you've done 4 or 5 years worth of SEO, where we recommend going for single word keywords, because the volume here is simply too large. The volume on long tail keywords is simply too large, and the single word keywords are too competitive. You may be there for 3 months, 4 months, and then again Google will change something in the algorithm, and then you'd be kicked out from that first position. So ROI wise, long tail keywords have the best return, and single word keywords have the least amount of return. Not the least, but they have a lower return from a perspective of the spend. Now, the second slide here simply tells you the distribution of the query. So this is a bit of a dated graph, but I would expect this to be remaining similar over the course of the time. So even in 2021, I can say that let's assume if Google was doing 1.9 billion searches, then the number of keywords that have more than 10,000 monthly searches, it's only 0.01. So there's very few keywords with more than 10,000 searches a month. And the number of keywords that have between 11 to 100 searches a month is about 6%. And the keywords that are at this in this 6% basket have very low competition, generally have a lower competition as well. So you're more likely going to encounter less ads at the top, and you would get more clicks from these long tail keywords. So always start off optimizing on the long tail keywords, followed by raising a bit of a volume, followed by raising a bit of volume, and going much more specific in the long term.